Okay, very good. So let's come on down onto our bellies. And I know you're all familiar with Makarasana, the crocodile pose. We're going to have our forearms stacked, forehead resting on the forearms. And then if it's comfortable in the lower body, we're going to rotate the thighs open. So we're resting on inner knee and inner ankle. And as always, if that's not comfortable, if that tweaks your lower back, just keep the legs at neutral. And just coming down into your posture and taking a few moments to arrange yourself so that you're comfortable. And if the weight of your forehead on your forearms is uncomfortable, you can always slide your arms out a little bit and rest on your cheek down on the floor. And just take a moment now to become still and start to get a sense of your body. So allowing the eyes to close and moving your awareness inside. And just getting an inner feeling for how you're holding yourself in this posture. And even in a nice relaxing posture like this, you might be surprised to find that there's still a bit of internal gripping. So start to feel the floor underneath you and allow the floor to hold your weight. So however you experience that transition, it might be like getting heavier. It might be like sinking in. Allow your shoulders to relax. Maybe your chest will drop a little bit. Allow your neck to relax. Now maybe feeling your head a little heavier on your arms. Soften your hands. Soften your feet. Relax around your eyes. Soften the jaw. And start to pay attention to breathing. So this is one posture that brings our breath to the forefront, as you can feel the navel where it's in contact with the floor. So as you're inhaling now, gently pressing your belly down into the floor, feeling the abdomen fill, the sides of the waist fill. Hi, Irene, we're in crocodile pose. Well, I'm not, but everybody else is. And just noticing that by following your breath, it'll start to smooth out and start to grow longer. So as you come to the transition between the inhalation and exhalation, see if you can take in just a little more breath. And as you come to the transition between your exhalation and inhalation, see if you can let out just a little more breath, maybe drawing the belly in. And then you can gently lift your head. Let's bring our legs back to neutral. So we're on our kneecaps and tops of our feet. And we're going to come into a soft sphinx. So maybe not quite as high. And we're going to work with the neck here. So with the upper body gently lifted, we're on our forearms. We're going to bring the chin down towards the chest. So just as if you were looking at your own navel. And very softly pressing the chin towards the chest. And just noticing how that feels in the back of your neck, upper back. Sometimes I feel this all the way down to my lower back. Things are tight enough back there. And continue with that deep belly breath as you press your chin. And then relaxing your effort, we're going to be bringing the head in half circles. So start to roll your right ear towards your right shoulder, and then just come across neutral in a straight line, left ear to left shoulder. And again, roll the chin down towards the chest. And just keep tracing this half circle. We'll do about 3 in each direction, nice and slow. When you've done 3, switch and roll the other way. Keep your jaw nice and soft. Maybe your teeth are open. And just listening to any little clicks or cracks as we get the joints in the neck warmed up. Next time the chin is down by the chest, let's bring our eyes forward to neutral. And we're going to lie down on the left cheek. So we're going to work with our geckos now. Keeping your left cheek on the floor, we're going to open the right thigh. So you can bring your big toe under and just flip the thigh open so you're on your inner thigh, inner knee. And then we're going to drag the right knee as high as it goes. I'm gonna start bringing it up, bringing it up. And my hip joint will lift a little bit. That's okay. And when your right knee gets about as high as it goes, you can bring your foot into flexion, so the ankle is bent, and then come back to resting on your cheek. And stay here for about 10 long breaths. And you might think about letting this right hip joint drop. So there can be a little bit of internal pressing of the inner thigh, inner groin. If it feels like a little too much is going on, feel free to slide your knee away. If you'd like a little more, you can use your big toe for leverage and kind of walk a little higher. So you're in that just right spot. And as you're here, relax your hip joints. And just notice if you've activated your glutes, relax your glutes. Arms are heavy, head is heavy. Now we've gotten to 10 breaths. We're going to bring the right leg back to neutral. So again, you can use your big toe, slide your leg straight, and bring it back into the neutral position. Okay, and now we'll work on the left side. So you can turn your left big toe under, rotate your left thigh open, and then we'll slide the left knee as high as it goes. Again, the left hip joint will come up a little bit, that's fine. And flexing the left ankle, resting on the right cheek. So when you first come here, notice what you're feeling. Sliding away for a little less, maybe bringing the knee up a little higher for a little more. And just gently settling the inner thigh, hip joint, groin towards the floor. And we're here for 10 long breaths. And at the same time, paying attention to relaxing your shoulders and arms. And just focusing on this gentle push towards the floor. Okay, again, you can use your big toe to help you slide the left leg back to the neutral position. So now we're going to gecko on both sides. And for this one, we're going to have the upper body lifted a little bit. So you can come again into your soft sphinx. So we're at our forearms, but we don't need to be very high. both big toes. You can start to walk your legs open. So bring your legs apart on the floor and then rotate to inner thighs. And you might not be anywhere near as high this time, but you can start to walk your legs up. And now you'll probably feel both hip joints come up off the floor and the pubic bone come up off the floor as well. And likely there's a little squeeze in the low back. So you can keep your head up, or if it's more comfortable now, you can come back to resting on a cheek. Good. And then our full gecko, we're gently pressing the pelvis towards the floor. This without tensing, just focusing on settling. And again, we'll be here for about 10 breaths. Flex your ankles if that feels nice. And long, deep breaths in and out of the navel. You might practice relaxing as you inhale and fill, maybe feeling that the tailbone's lifting a bit. And as you exhale, press. 3 more long breaths. And as we start to think about bringing the legs back to neutral, again, big toes, we kind of walk our legs straight and hop them over to neutral position. Once you're back in your neutral position, we'll come to the palms of the hands and we're going to press up into table. From table pose, let's bring our big toes together, open the knees wide, and we'll settle into an open child. And so if it works, your forehead is down on the floor. It's fine if the tail is up. And we can walk our fingertips away from the body, lengthening the back. So fingertips are walking away, sit bones are dropping. See if you can feel your shoulder blades move towards one another, the chest open. And big belly breaths. Let's be here for about 7 breaths. A variation of this is to be on your chin. You might try that, see if it's okay in your neck. If being on your chin isn't comfortable, stay on the forehead, or of course, a cheek is also a good choice. And when you're ready, you can start to again walk your hands towards your body, and let's move into table position. From our table position, we'll walk the hands 1 step forward, and we're going to bring the hips in a rotation. So releasing forward, drawing out to the side and back, other side and forward. So just rolling. And let's do about 5 rolls in each direction. Soften your elbows a little bit and deeper to the joint. Yeah, switch now. And then let's bring ourselves back to a neutral table. So again, the wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. And we're just going to turn our right toes under, straighten the right knee, and press back through the right heel. So just giving the back of the leg and calf muscles, foot, nice stretch. Stay here and breathe. And then let's do the left side. So right knee back to neutral, left toes under, press back through the left heel. Hold for a few breaths. And back to neutral. Okay, from here, let's flip over onto our backs. And when you get down onto the floor, we'll bring the legs long and just check overhead. There's space above you for the backs of your hands. And we'll take a few symmetrical stretches here. So just lengthening the body, reach through fingers, press through heels. And then you can relax your upper body and let's flex and point the toes. And roll the ankle joints. So big toes make circles up on the ceiling. And now we'll move into our side bends. So we're going to interlace the fingers, bring the hands behind the head. And let's lift the head, lift the shoulders, and side bend to the left. Bring your head back down, let your elbows open. And now the left heel takes a step, maybe just a couple inches to the left. And the right leg comes over to meet it. Okay, so in Yin Yoga, these are called banana asana. So rather than half moons, they call them a banana pose. Give it a nice gentle curve, just like a banana. And pay attention that the hips are still grounded. So sometimes we can walk our heels so far to get a bigger stretch in the side that we're kind of lifting the right hip up off the floor. And I've been just paying attention to SI joints lately. You know how it is, there's always a new agony. My knees are doing a lot better and I'm feeling some stuff going on in my SI joints. So we can fix that or at least help that from getting worse by paying attention to being balanced. So both in our postures and when we're standing, when we're sitting, that we're keeping the two sit bones even. And bringing your attention now to the right side of your body, long, deep breaths. So let go of your right hand, right elbow, right shoulder, relax through the shoulder joint. Allow the breath to fill the space of the rib cage inside of the waist. And again, soften the face. Let's be here for about 5 more long, deep breaths. And just keeping our focus on the right side of the body. So feeling, seeing, breath, prana moving through the right side of the body. Moving into all those spaces. Right. And then let's walk the heels back to neutral, bring the head and shoulders back to neutral. And just laying here for a minute before we go to the other side and just notice if your right side feels different than your left side. through the waist, through the shoulder. And then lift your head and shoulders, side bend now to the right. Head down, elbows open, and heels are baby stepping to the right. Again, don't walk so far that the left sit bone lifts. Keep the pelvis on the floor. And now moving our awareness into the left side of the body. Relax your left hand and wrist, left elbow, left shoulder. And being aware of moving breath through the spaces of the left side of the body. Long, deep breaths. Relax your ankles and your toes. And just as you did in crocodile pose, maybe having that sense that the floor is holding you. And then when you're ready, heels walk back to center, head and shoulders come back to center. Let's take the hands out from behind the head. And we're going to come to a wind reliever. So you can come to wind reliever how you always do, or we could do the variation where the knees are open and we're drawing the knees towards the hips. So this feels, I think, a little extra good in hip joints, and we'll rock here. It's just rocking across the sacrum. And then let's release the feet down on the floor. We'll keep the knees bent. And we're going to take the heels of the hands to the forehead. So coming into the forehead now with self-massage, drawing big circles. And just exploring sensation in your face, by the eyebrows, by the hairline, down into the temples. And that place where the jawbones meet. And you might gently open and close your teeth a few times. It's working tension out of the face. And then you can bring your hands back to the floor. Let's just do a few hip rotations here. So we're going to let the left knee tip open just a little bit. Right knee comes in towards the belly, hands are down on the floor. And let's draw a big circle up on the ceiling with the right knee. So as best you can, keep your pelvis steady. You can even have your hands on your hips instead of on the floor. That helps you keep the pelvis steady. Right, there's a little rocking, but we like to isolate movement in the hip. And then let's bring the knee in the opposite direction. And then land the foot. Okay, hip rolls on the other side. So the right knee tips out a little bit. Left knee comes in towards the body. And we're going to draw circles with the left knee. So about 5 in each direction. and then switch. And you might find some sticky places or clicky places. One more big circle. And then you can land both of your feet on the floor, and let's just tip the knees right and left a few times. And we're going to move into happy baby as a yin pose. So what we're going to be doing is holding our legs wherever we can do so comfortably. So ideally, the basic variation of this pose is to come up through the middle and hold the arches of your feet with your hands. If that causes strain in your neck or your shoulders, you can hold your ankles, you can hold behind your knees. Okay? So let's bring the legs up in the air, and you might see if holding the arches works. And just notice if you can relax your arms here or your neck, or if it's a strain. If this is a strain, hold your ankles or bring your hands behind your knees. Okay. We're going to try to be here for about 3 minutes. And normally in happy baby pose, and we do it in our hatha style, we're kind of rolling around and we're moving our legs all over the place and rocking. And so we're going to try to do this, but be still. So the first thing we'd like to do is to use our arms as weights. So even though your hands are kind of holding your feet or some other part of your leg, let them hold softly and let them be heavy. So relax your forearms, elbows, upper arms, and importantly, your shoulders. And just have the feeling that if your legs weren't here, your arms would fall on the floor. And you might get a sense of how very heavy your arms are when they're weighting the legs. And just pay attention to your hip joints and inner thighs. If it's too much, you can take a little weight out of your arms. So the other name for this is squashed bug. And if we're holding it in a still way, I guess it's more of a squashed bug than a happy baby. Just heavy arms. And as best you can, relax your legs. So you don't have to worry a whole lot about where in space your hands and feet are, as long as they're up in the air, as long as you're squarely on the back of your pelvis. And you might start to have the sensation that your knees are dropping. About a minute to go. So nice big breaths into the belly, heavy limbs. Soften through your knees, your ankles and toes. 10 more breaths. Your face soft. And when you get to the bottom of your next breath, we're going to come out. So take your hands away and slow motion your feet back to the floor. Stay here for a breath. And then little tiny tips with the knees. Good. And they're getting a little bit bigger. Good. Warming those joints back up. And we're going to transition from here to resting on the left hip. So when you're ready, let's come over onto our side and we'll be on the left hip with our knees bent. And however your head is comfortable. So your head could be resting inside of your left arm, or if you want to grab a cushion or a folded blanket or something to support your head, you can do that as well. Okay. So we're going to be doing our couch lying pose. And we're going to start with a little bit of movement first. So let your right big toe be touching out in front. And we're going to bring the right knee in towards the body and then straighten the leg up towards the ceiling. Right knee in towards the body and then tap the toe. Okay, so we'll do this a couple times before we hold. And tap. Let's knee in and up and in and tap. And the next time we come up, we're going to try to hold here, probably for about 2 minutes. So however you most comfortably support your leg in space, if you can hold your toe without, again, straining the neck or straining the shoulder joint, you can hold your big toe. Otherwise, let's have the hand on the back of the leg. A good spot is above the knee, so on the back of the thigh. Good. So your right hand is either resting above your knee on your lower thigh, or it's holding your toes. And now again, your right arm is going to become a weight. So relax your shoulder, relax your elbow. And the feeling is that we are drawing the leg towards us just by the weight of the arm. Keep some softness in your knee. Found a position that works. Return to the sensation of breath. Again, soft face, let your head be heavy on its support. Relax your hip joint, relax your buttocks. And just see if we can be here for about 10 more breaths. Let your arm be heavy. Very good. Okay, so we're going to think about coming back to our neutral position so you can let go of your leg. And again, we always come out of our long holds in a slow motion fashion. Let's restack the legs. Okay, from here, we're going to come to a version of cat pulling its tail. So for this one, the right leg is going to come back out in front again, just like it did. Right toe taps. And the right arm is going to find the left ankle. So you might want to push yourself up a little bit and find your left foot down there on the floor. You can hold your ankle or the top of your foot. If it's a hard reach, this would be a good place to have a strap. And when you got a hold of that bottom leg, you can lie down again and think about lifting your left knee and sliding it back. So your left thigh slides back on the floor, away from you. And then from here, I'm going to start to roll towards my back. So it might mean you're just tipping a little bit, or maybe you can come all the way onto your back. It's kind of like a diagonal quad stretch on your back. And for me and my knees, Doing it in a diagonal way is a little nicer than using the same hand on the same side for that ankle. So your right leg is just kind of hanging out, right? You can use your foot to keep you stable. You're relaxing your right shoulder and right elbow. If you want to come into the full cat pulling its tail posture, you would then take your left hand, make it a little table, and bring the right leg out to rest in it. Yeah, so it becomes a hamstring stretch on the right side. That's a lot going on. So I could either hold my toe, but that can make you kind of rock to the side. So just wherever your little table lands. For me, I guess the best place is holding my right inner knee. If you've already done enough with that right leg, maybe you just keep it on the floor. And relax your shoulder. If you can look up at the ceiling, that's great. And you might close your eyes and just imagine your body in this position. It's kind of an interesting figure. And let's just take 2 more breaths. And then you can release that bottom leg. Again, slowly come to resting on your left hip. Okay, from here, we're going to roll across our back and come to resting on the right hip. So I'll flip so I keep facing you. So same setup, support your head either on the inside of your right arm or on a little cushion or folded blanket. And we'll start with our movement in the left leg. So the left big toe is out in front, touching. And we'll bring the knee in towards the body and then straighten the leg up towards the ceiling. And then knee in towards the body and then tap. Okay, so this is about 5 times. Knee in and up and in and tap. And as best you can, your heels aiming towards the ceiling. You might not be exactly at a 90-degree angle from the floor. That's totally fine. And we're paying attention to our edge, right? Works naturally in the body. And then the next time your left leg is up there in the air, let's think about how to support it. So if you can hold your left big toe comfortably, you can come up and grab the toe. Otherwise, supporting the back of the leg, either by resting. My second favorite place is right above the knee, in the back of the thigh, or just whatever works for you, what feels natural, right? We're all a little different. The important thing is that you can let your arm work as a weight. Okay, so find what works. Keep your knee soft. And we're here for about 2 minutes. So now working on that transition to making the left arm heavy. So however your fingers or your hand is holding your leg, let it be a soft hold. Relax your wrist and elbow, relax into your shoulder. And let the arm be a weight. If you feel tippy at all, you can always bend your bottom leg a little more. And find your breath. So we always say to stay still unless you feel you can come a little deeper. So a little deeper might be bringing your heel a little bit higher towards the ceiling, or if things start to feel painful. So if you feel tingly or pulling or anything like that, having your leg up in the air for a long time is challenging. Then maybe you kind of come out for a moment or you wiggle. Two reasons to move positions. Okay, 5 more breaths. Keep relaxing your arm. It'll have a tendency to start kind of becoming tense. Relax your arm, relax your arm. And then let's come out. So take your hand away from your leg. Slow motion, restack the thighs. And now we're going to think about our quad stretch for the bottom leg. So again, your left big toe is out in front, tapping your toe. Left hand, right foot. So feel free to lift your head and look or roll to your back a little bit, however you can best find your foot. If you're going to use a strap, this is a good time to put a strap around the ankle. Good. And when you got a nice firm grip of your leg, take your right knee up and slide it back. So just see how far the right thigh can move back comfortably and then come back to the floor. You can stay here, but this is enough. Otherwise, you can start to roll towards your back. Just letting the body open to the ceiling. And again, the left arm is working, right, supporting the leg. Let's see if you can soften your grip. Relax your left wrist, left elbow, and shoulder. And just have the feeling of the body dropping open towards the ceiling. And then if you want to do anything with the left leg, it's up to you. Your left foot can just stay on the floor as it is, as an anchor. If you want to make a table with your right hand, you could bring your left leg into your right hand. So it's kind of like a kick. Eyes are on the ceiling. And we got about 10 more breaths. Deep breaths into the belly. Good. If your left leg is up in the air, bring it back to the floor. Again, it's a support. And release the bottom foot. Restack the legs and come back to your neutral position. Good. All right, and then from here, we're going to come back to hands and knees. So let's slowly move up into table. And we're going to do some cat and cow movements, just to kind of reset the back. So once you're up in table, start to drop your sit bones towards the back of your knees and arch through the lower back, arch through the mid back, press the floor away and drop your head. And then lifting the sit bones, release your belly, your chest, and look forward. So keep moving just like that. We're maybe about 5 or 6 cat and cows. And then when you've completed that, we're going to push up into down dog for just one big full body stretch. So turning the toes under, lift the sit bones and drop the heels towards the floor. Good. And then we can walk the feet back towards the hands and roll the body up to standing. So just coming up into your mountain pose. Let's make soft fists with the hands and elbows back, straight arms. And we're going to take this into some twists. So let's open the legs up, keeping those soft fists and eyes forward. Let the arms flail. And as you're moving, you're lifting through the crown of your head, nice and tall. And we're going to move through moon salutations now. Ready? If you're on a mat, you're going to come to the short end of your mat with your left little toe at the short end. And come into a mountain pose. So if you look down, your feet are straight ahead, ankles are underneath hips. And our first position is the full moon. So interlace just the tips of the fingers and frame the head. In your full moon position, you're lifting your heart, but relaxing your shoulders. Notice that your low back is neutral. Sometimes we lift the chest so much, we start to squeeze in the low back. Keep the back soft. And then moving from full moon into half moon. So the hands close, point your fingers up. These are temple hands. And then we squeeze the ears. And side bend to the right. You can turn your head a little here and look down at the floor. Half moon position, breathe. And then we're going to step out into the goddess pose. So release your hands and step wide into a squat. So that whatever depth is comfortable for you. Good, and the hands are open, fingers are spread. We'll move from the goddess pose to triangle. So we're going to straighten the knees. Left toes turn in, right toes turn out. And your right hand comes down by the inner right knee, left arm up. Eyes to the ceiling, if it's comfortable, or eyes to the floor. It's better in your neck. And then moving from triangle to crescent moon. So the hands are going to come down to the floor and frame the right foot. Drop your left knee, straighten your left ankle. Good. And then from here, let's lift the upper body up and we're going to take a little back bend. So heart to the ceiling. Stay here for about 3 breaths. And when the crescent moon comes down, the hands land inside the thigh. Good. We're going to move from here into a child's pose. So bring your legs closed. Now you're facing the long end of your mat. And we're going to come down over the thighs and however's most comfortable. You can have your arms alongside, or you could stack your fists and rest your forehead on your fists. And in this position, we are the new moon, so completely dark and invisible. Good. Allow your body to be heavy to the floor. Relax across your upper back. And then head and shoulders lift. Let's bring our hands to the floor. And we're going to come up via a squat. So you can rock onto your knees and turn your toes under. And then walk back into this kind of frog position. Good. And from here, inhale, come up, heels drop, hands touch. Exhale the hands to the heart. Just stay here for a moment. Again, breathe. And now we'll go the other direction. So you want to come back to your mat, and now your right little toe is by the short end. And let's come up into our full mode. So arms overhead and release just the tips of your fingers. So you make a nice circle around your head. Heart is lifted, shoulders are relaxed. And then temple hands, pointer fingers are up. Squeeze your ears and side bend left. Once you're there, your eyes could look down at the floor. This big opening through the right side of the body. And then stepping into the goddess pose. So release your hands and step wide. Arms are forward, hands are alive, fingers are spread. And then from here, we transition to triangle pose. So legs straighten, right toes in, left toes out. It works, right arm in the air, back of the left hand to the inner left knee. Good. This is straightening through the side of your body. You can always bring your hand behind your low back. And then from here, crescent moon. So let's drop the hands now and frame the left foot. Good. Come down onto your right knee, straighten your ankle. Make sure you're nice and steady first. And then let's lift the upper body. Good. Open the front of the spine, little back bend. 3 breaths. And then the hands come to the long end of the mat. So inside the left thigh. Turn so you're facing the long end of the mat and walk yourself back into a child's pose. The new moon position. And give yourself a few breaths here to relax. Good. Shoulders fall. And then coming to the palms of your hands, start to walk your head and shoulders up. And we're going to stand up through squat. So up onto your knees, toes turn under. And walk yourself back to your frog position. On an inhalation, let's stand up. Swoop the arms and touch the palms overhead, and then exhale, hands to the heart. So the last thing I'd like to do is 3 Taoist breaths. And at the conclusion of the third one, we're going to stay for a few minutes in dangling. So we did dangling last time. That's the yin term for ragdoll. So if being in ragdoll isn't comfortable for you, especially for more than a minute, or to try about 2 or 3 minutes, there are variations to it. Right. So ragdoll is just being completely bent over at the hip joints, right? Like this. If that's not good, you can bend your knees and rest your forearms and keep your head up. Okay, so if it causes you to feel dizzy or feel too much pressure in your head, this is a good variation. All right, so when you're ready, we're up in our mountain pose. So let your arms relax. And then let's inhale the arms up. Come behind the head, exhale, and as you push out towards opposite walls, soften your knees. Arms are up alongside the ears. Inhale, stand up tall and lift your heart. And then exhale, bring the fingertips to the shoulders. And now we're going to inhale, slide the shoulder blades back, bring our eyes to the ceiling, open the chest. And then exhale, again, soften your knees and push the hands forward. Stay here for just a moment. And then arms come up by the ears. We'll take a little back bend here. And then exhale, coming forward, soften your knees. And dropping into a forward bend. Yeah, let your head and shoulders be heavy. And then soften your knees, roll back up. Shoulders to the ears and back and down. Inhale. Arms up, exhale, push out, soften your knees. Fingertips to the shoulders this time. Stand up tall, inhale into the heart and look up. Exhale, drop into your knees and push forward. Inhale, stand tall, lift the heart, little back bend. Exhale, nice and slow, come forward into forward fold. Last one, soften your knees, slowly restack your spine. Shoulders come all the way up to the ears, press back and release down. Okay, and this time we'll hold at the end. Inhale. Arms behind, exhale, soft knees, push out. Fingertips to the shoulders, stand tall, inhale into your heart, look up. Exhale, round the spine, drop into your knees, push out. Inhale, stand tall, lift your heart, little back bend. And then exhale, soft knees, fall forward. So we'll stay in dangling for a little bit if it's okay. Again, if you start to feel uncomfortable, just bring your arms up onto your thighs and lift your head. Otherwise, let your shoulders be heavy, your arms be heavy. You can either just have your hands resting on a block or on the floor, or you can pretzel them, which makes them even a little bit more of a weight, meaning the hands are resting at opposite elbows. Good. And the legs are straight, but there's a little bounce in the knees. And this is kind of a form of self-traction. So the heaviness of your arms, your shoulders, your head lengthens the spine. And let your breath move. And you might start to feel your face getting a little bit warm, maybe a little full. All right, as we start to bring fresh circulation into the face, the head, the brain. And let's just see if we can be here for 10 more breaths, as long as everything is feeling good. And as you hang out here, if everything is feeling good, you might feel yourself dropping even a little more. Notice your weight is over the arches of your feet. Feel the bottoms of your feet, feel your 10 toes touching the floor. And as we start to think about coming back to neutral, we can open the arms if they are pretzel, bend the knees much more, draw the navel in just a little bit. And again, slow motion. How slow can you restack? Keeping the chin dropped until the end. Shoulders to the ears and back and down, hearts lifting. And last thing, bringing your eyes forward. All right, very good. So next position is relaxation. So you want to make a space for yourself down on the floor, a cushion under the head, and if you like, a bolster or roll blankets under your knees. Actually, no. And to begin with, we're going to do 2 full body tense release practices. So find your Shavasana. Chin is tucked just a little bit so the back of the neck is long. And when you're comfortable, you close your eyes. And again, start to feel the floor underneath you. And just take a survey of your body. And maybe just noting physically, energetically, the effects of your practice. And then start to furrow your brow. So bring your eyebrows together, gently squeeze your eyes, purse your lips like you're sucking on a sour lemon. Press your shoulders down, squeeze biceps, forearms, squeeze your hands into fists. Tighten the buttocks, the thighs, the calves, and then flex your feet, press through your heels. Hold your whole body tight, tight, tight. And release, let go. And now we're going to rotate the shoulders in so the backs of the hand, or sorry, palms of the hands are down on the floor. So palms are on the floor. Again, bring awareness to your crown. And then move down into the forehead and wrinkle the forehead. Knitting eyebrows together, squeezing the eyes shut, pursing the lips. Press your shoulders down, firm the biceps, forearms. And now press your palms down into the floor as if you were trying to push yourself up. Squeeze the buttocks, thighs, calves, and then gently point your toes. Sometimes pointing our toes really hard can cause a cramp. Just pointing your toes away from you. Hold, hold, hold. Release. Rotate the shoulders open, rest on the backs of the hands. Let's take a big inhalation through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Again, bring your awareness to your crown. This time, as you move down into the forehead, soften the muscles of the forehead and feel the eyebrows move apart. Soften the muscles around your eyes. Soften the muscles behind your eyes. Relax across your cheekbones, your jaw. Soften the insides of your cheeks, your tongue. Move awareness across the sides of your head, moving around the ears, maybe traveling into the ears. And relaxing the space inside the head. Again, soften the back of the head and just feel the place where your head is resting. Allow the head to be held, to be heavy. And for a few breaths, just feel the movement of breath in and out of the nose. Move awareness into the sides of your neck, the back of your neck. Release your throat. Release your shoulders. And begin traveling down your arms, soft elbows, soft wrists. Relax all the little joints in your fingers. Relax the palms of your hands. And just see if you focus on the palms of your hands, if you can feel warmth there. Maybe you can feel energy in the hands. Again, relax your wrists, elbows, shoulders. Travel into the sides of your rib cage, the sides of your waist. Relax across your upper back, mid back, and lower back. Deeply relax the muscles in your chest. And just observe any play of breath in the space of the heart. Travel down to the abdomen. Relax your belly. And allow the belly to fill and empty. On the inhalation, the belly expands, and on the exhalation, it falls. And then see if you can stand back from this a little bit and allow your body to breathe. So you're not consciously drawing in breath on the inhale and filling your belly. You're watching your body breathe. And you might notice that when you get out of the way, your body breathes just fine on its own. So it's usually our thoughts and our stresses that restrict the breath. Relax your hip joints. Move down your legs and into your knees. Relax your calves and ankles. And soften your feet. Relaxing all the little joints in your toes. deeply relaxing the arches of the feet. So we talk about being a rag doll when we're in that forward fold. And now see if you can feel being a rag doll in Shavasana. So completely soft. Completely held by the floor underneath you. Again, find the movement of breath in the nose. And as you lie in your rag doll, follow the breath in and out. Cool sensations as the inhalation moves in. Warm sensations inside the nose as the breath moves out. And now allow the sound of the mantra to come into your mind. As you inhale, hear so. And as you exhale, hear so. Um, Inhaling, filling, hearing the mantra. Exhaling and emptying, hearing the mantra. And allowing that internal sound to fill your whole being. And you imagine every cell in your body reciting so. And as that vibration fills you, it strengthens you, deeply nourishes you, heals you. Just feeling the stillness of this moment. and resting in your own being. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And now allow the sound of the mantra to go. Take a few deep breaths and start to move your body. Wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, maybe gently moving the head. And then you can roll yourself onto your side and start to make your way up to your seat. And just sit for a few moments with your eyes closed. And when you feel ready to bring your awareness back out into the room, you can warm your hands and cup your hands over your eyes. And the eyes slowly open to the darkness of the hands. And just taking your hands away when you're ready. And thank you all so much for being here. It's wonderful to see you as always. I'm wishing you a beautiful weekend. Namaste.
Thank you, Tracy.
My pleasure. Good to see you all. Like the rain's letting up.
Thank you, Tracy. Have a good weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too, Paula. Good to see you.
Thanks, Tracy.
Yeah, take care, Irene.
You too.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
Well.
Wonderful.
Good. Thank you, Lynn.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, bye, Joanna.
Bye. Oh my God, that was amazing.
Good. Yes, it sets the tone for the whole weekend then.
It does. Thank you, Tracy.
Yep. Take care, bye. Have a good weekend.